best golf, bro.
3 shots, 4 par, I just do 2. 1 putt, par 4, birdie, woohoo. New driver, info, replace, M2, par 5, fairway, what you fin do? Think I'll try to get on into, start right, good line, good view, it drew.
It's like 1:30 in the morning, and we're headed 550 miles, approximately, to the Pine Barrens.
Shooter McGavin, 2 thumbs that's up high and 2 fingers pointed at you, pew pew. Fairway to green, conk off that I'm playing. Sometimes these par 3 green look like an island, I'm playing to keep it.
That's a great course, man. Like,
Yeah.
Great course.
That's awesome.
Well,
So,
see, they finally got some, like, real recognition, too. I think they were, like, number
They were like
4,
top 25 public courses
number
or something
14 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the like, public courses in Ontario, in Canada. Like, they were up there. They were ahead of
that
some of the
high,
Oh, yeah. Ahead of some, like, the TPC courses. It was great. Barry, we'll leave this in for you, Barry. In case you're listening, we'll leave this one in.
I need another crack at Copetown. Last time we played, it poured on us, and it was
Yeah.
freezing.
Yeah, I've
that's
played
quite,
it.
That's quite the trek for you guys, eh? Like, because you're in Scarborough, right, Mac?
I'm in Oshawa. So actually,
Well,
the first time I met Barry, this is just a Copetown pod. So good for you, Barry. You're doing good things and people love you. But the first time I actually met Barry, I went out during the pandemic. There was nothing to do, and like you could just go out and buy food and go sit on the golf course. I did that. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I've pretty much gone out once or twice a year to play it. I don't mind a little drive to go see Barry.
It's a bit of a hike for me, but I'm trying to get out there.
For you coming back this way, yeah. But
it's 3 and 4 hours.
So we'll just jump into it here, boys. I'll clip it somewhere there, and we'll get going. Give Barry a little piece at the start of the episode. But this is a Junior Players Tour, so this is episode 215, I think. So thanks for joining us, guys. We got Tyler, Ryan, and Blake. So we're gonna go through. Tyler's the founder, the CEO. Ryan Shaw is the director of tour operations, and Blake Sloan is the director of marketing and social media. Is that right?
Marketing communications, but yeah.
Communications,
kind of
got it. So we got them up in the screen here. So Tyler's in the middle, Ryan's on the right if you're watching this by chance, and Blake is on the left. So thanks for joining us, guys. Do you want to give kind of like an introduction, each of you, to who you are and how you're kind of involved with the tour, and then we can jump into it.
Absolutely. Founder and CEO, why don't you start off?
Yeah, my name's Tyler Torrieri, CEO of the Junior Players Tour. I've been in the junior golf space for going on 8 years now. Just really excited. We finally made the jump to start our own tour, and we're excited to get it out to everybody and show what we can do.
Blake, go for it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So worked in the golf industry my whole career so far. Kind of graduated from Brock University back in 2021. And yeah, specifically junior golf. Just want to create the best tournament atmosphere for juniors across country and give them the best possible tournament for their future.
Yeah, Ryan Shaw. Went to Brock University as well. Been in junior golf for about 5 years, working it. Played junior golf growing up. Realized real quick that wasn't good enough, so had to make the transition into kind of the other side into ops. So yeah, just really excited to kind of start our own thing and get going and be back in junior golf really.
So guys, if for anybody listening to us who's not just friends with Barry who cut out at this point, but where's the focus of the Junior Players Tour?
Yeah, the focus is on really the elite junior golfer. We have 20 events across the country, and the goal is to keep the top players in the country more often. What happens right now is once that player gets to that elite level, there's a couple events in Canada that they'll play in, the Canadian junior boys and junior girls, maybe the men's and women's AM, and then their provincial championships. But other than that, there's not much in Canada that matters for them. So a lot of them go down to the US or play some big international events. And, that takes time, money, commitment from not only the players, but the families. So if we can keep those players in the country a little more, maybe a couple more weeks out of the year, then that's a huge success. And to bring all the top players together more than, 2-3 times a year is going to be the goal.
You say you have a lot of the elite and top junior golfers. Are there credentials to get into the tournaments, or is it kind of like an open field and kind of kids will place, how they place, or are you guys kind of limiting the field?
Yeah, so a full field for us is 96 players. In year one, it is going to be first come, first serve.
Yep.
The reason for that is with to get performance stars with the American Junior Golf Association, they have to have history, and they won't rank any new events in year one. So what we are going to aim to do is fill the fields in year one, show that history, get the ranking points for year two, and then at that point we can pick and choose who we would like to have in the events based off of World Amateur Golf Ranking or Junior Golf Scoreboard or AJJ Stars, whatever the criteria may be. We can kind of handpick to get those best fields possible in year two and beyond.
Nice.
So I see, like you mentioned, Tyler, you mentioned 20 tournaments. So I'm just kind of like going through them. We got 5 in BC, 2 in Alberta, 1 in Saskatchewan, 8 in Ontario, 3 in Ottawa, Quebec, and 1 in Atlantic, Canada. Is that 54-hole format? Is that still the structure that you guys are going with?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have about half of our schedule planned right now. The other half, we're just kind of waiting on dates to make sure we're not conflicting with some, big Golf Canada or provincial events. But yeah, we're still sticking to that format. All events will be 54-hole, 3-day competitions. So
that's great, guys. That's
what
solid.
What's the age range you guys are looking at here for this?
Shazzy and Blake, you guys can hop into anytime. I feel like I'm taking all the spotlight here, but the age is max. Our max age is going to be, as long as you're not 19 before August 1st of that current year, you can play, and then yeah, we're kind of a little younger. I would say we'll probably have some 10-year-olds, maybe some 9-year-olds if they're good enough to play at that distance, and we're not going to turn them away.
Gang, gang, twirl, gang, 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 twirl, gang, twirl, twirl, gang, twirl, gang. Give me that driver, I let it bang. Twirl, gang, give me that wedge, I'm taking that aim. Twirl, gang, twirl, twirl. If you ain't twirling, hitter, you lame. You sick with the twirling, hitter, you gang.
Players too, like no Ty said 10 and 9. Maybe that's a bit on the younger side, but we've seen throughout our careers like 10, 11-year-olds come up. Like it's incredible, man.
Well, I was gonna bring that up a little later, but yeah, the kids are getting so good so young now. Like kids are like 14, 13-year-old kids are smoking the ball. Like I have little cousins that play and I'm not gonna say they're keeping up with me, but they're not too far behind me, and it's just like, where are these kids getting the power from? It's insane.
Oh,
I don't know if it's a gear or what, but
I watched a Grant Horvat video like a couple weeks ago, and they did like the top player from, I think it was 10 or 11 to up to like 16, and obviously like they got Miles Russell in there and like in the video, and like he's playing a PGA Tour event. I think he just turned 16, but well, that speaks kind of volumes to it right there, right? It's just like junior golf is huge right now, and even like the younger players are shooting like 70. It's insane, man. Like they're so good. It's so much fun to watch. But I think having something like that, we were kind of talking about before we got started while we were waiting on Bryce. Like it's just it's something that maybe could use some evolution or evolve, like just some involvement, I guess, in Canada. Like there's definitely room for it. Golf has grown. So many young kids are playing it. At my course, where we are out at Port Hope for a couple of years, I don't think we had it this year, but we had the Junior Match Play Championships, the Ontario Junior Match Play Championships, and some of those kids are so good. Like I've been playing there 5 years, and I haven't shot around like they do, and they've just been there one time, right? It's pretty impressive to see. It's kind of cool that you guys are starting it from the ground up. That's sort of how Bryce and I got started with this like 5 years ago now, and it's sort of fun to have those conversations with like all the different players and all the different brands and stuff that we've been able to over the course of those years. But seeing that you guys are being able to kind of bring it like from a grassroots level is pretty cool too. So when we talk about like the different involvement that each of you guys have, where are, like Tyler, you're kind of mentioning like you're looking after like the schedule and like you're the CEO of the program, but where are you guys what are you guys working on right now as you kind of like ramp up for your first off season to get people like interested in it for next year? Maybe we can start with you on that one, Blake.
Yeah, man. My job right now is it's actually, we have a lot of exciting things coming down the pipeline. All partnership announcements. I'm trying to think of what I could share with you. Because we got 2 tomorrow specifically. We're actually, why not?
We're always looking. Bryce and I are always looking for that early info. We want to, we want to be there. Yeah.
We break all the news, all the golf news. We break it.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know when this pod's gonna release, but we should be after we release some of that. I won't reveal the big one just in case. But yeah, we got our coaches and players ambassador program launching tomorrow. We got a partnership with are you familiar with Red Komodo Golf?
Yep.
Yeah, Red Komodo Golf.
They do rangefinders, right?
The head covers, the high quality.
Oh, that's Red Tiger, right? Red
Yeah,
Komodo. Yeah,
genuine
yeah, yeah.
leather. So they're actually going to be producing our winners head covers. So we're going to have head cover for all winners in each division. So 4 per tournament for all 4 of our divisions. That's going to be launching probably on Friday here, probably before this pod even comes out. But yeah, so really my job right now is just building as much hype as we can, announcing these partnerships, building as big of a base as we can before we launch these memberships in a few days here, and then even our schedule come December and January there.
Now, what's on top for you right now, Ryan?
Yeah, right now I'm kind of like Blake takes care of making all the announcements and getting everybody to know all the programs, like coaches and player ambassador. I'm kind of back on the back end, reaching out to all the coaches, players that we're looking to kind of get involved in the program. So I've basically it's basically just sending a million emails right now for me, talking to different coaches, players, sponsors, everybody, kind of just trying to get everybody aware of what's going on, what's coming, and getting everything in line so that Blake can announce it and make sure that everyone knows what's going on. I mostly take care of the ops stuff, so like infrastructure, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of my bread and butter. I like big tournament feel stuff. So when it comes to roping and stuff like that, that's where I'm looking at planning out kind of how I want to make this golf course look as cool as possible.
I was just looking at that on the website, Ryan. So like right under the block where it says professionally run tournaments, it looks like a little blog that Blake had posted. So anybody listening to us right now, I'll link just like any of the other pods, I'll link the website in the show notes below. Anybody who wants to go check it out, there's lots of information on there. But 54 events, and then underneath it, or 54 whole events, and then underneath it says professionally run tournaments. So the priority of all the 20 events. Where I'm going with this is like, what is the experience going to be like for the players? Like if like a parent's listening to this and they want to kind of get their child signed up for an event, like what would their child expect? What would the parent expect when they come out to one of the events?
Yeah. So the whole goal of this is trying to create, like we said, basically, and that is like a pro-like atmosphere. So kind of having that experience they wouldn't necessarily get anywhere else, where they're kind of everything. We're trying to basically going to rope off as many tee decks as possible, making it look as professional as possible in terms of the infrastructure setup, as well as like the on course experience. So like live scoring, making sure we have live scoring on site at every 4 holes or so, having like player experience in terms of referees, making sure we have enough referees on site to monitor the course and have pace of play going well, and kind of trying to be innovative in different senses to try to have that player experience be a little more like the PGA Tour, not necessarily the PGA Tour like straight up PGA Tour, but like PGA Tour Americas, or kind of get them ready for that next level of what they're going to experience at the events. And then a huge part of that is Blake with the social media and kind of having the player interviews and all that aspect of it as well.
Tyler, do you find that like a lot of the courses are on board for wanting to get involved with some of this, like when Ryan's talking about like roping things off or doing scoreboards? Are you getting a lot of support with that? Is it something that's kind of maybe courses are looking forward to kind of featuring their space when you host an event?
Yeah, we've been very happy with the response we've been getting from golf courses, pitching this idea to them and explaining kind of what we want to do. They've been very, very supportive. So, not only just with the aspect of bringing the tournament to their course, but showcasing their golf course. And that's been a big pitch to them as well of, Blake going on site, getting the drone shots, doing all the infrastructure, getting, on everything will be tagged on social media too. So their course is getting that much more exposure on social media. So we've been very happy with that part of it. And I mean, coming from planning 150 tournaments before at our old jobs to now doing 20, we're being more selective with the courses that we are choosing. We want the top end courses. We want to have those courses that the players actually want to come play, and have those courses be on board with what we're pitching them has been a big blessing. So
with the
it's got to be a little easier for you guys too, kind of going down a more limited amount of courses, because you can kind of, like you said, nitpick at different little things that you might have missed before with having so many events before. So I think that'll really benefit you guys like moving forward here.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's more work in the sense, you're right, that we're we are nitpicking. We're making sure that every detail is covered now, whereas before it was like a cookie cutter type situation. But that's just going to enhance the player experience
sure.
when the events come.
Now, I did want to ask you, Tyler. You mentioned that you had about half the events secured. Are you able to kind of share some of the courses that that you've locked up for next year for the schedule already?
Yeah, we're saving a few for a big announcement, but
Okay.
we have two massive ones in Ontario that are some of the top facilities in the country. So I'll save those ones, but we have like Legends on the Niagara,
Nice.
Tangle Creek, Mayfair Lakes, Green Tea out in BC, Sirocco in Calgary, to name a few that are at that top echelon of golf course. And then, like I said, we have a few that people are going to be very excited when they see on our schedule.
So will you do like what will the release be like for you guys? Is that something that you'll do, Blake? Or are you going to do like a social media release for those? Is there like a press release or somewhere where we can kind of, again, drop like a link in the show notes to somebody? We are going to try and put this one out for Friday. So that'll be
Awesome.
the 8th. So, with these things kind of upcoming into the next few weeks or whatever it may be throughout the off season, is there somewhere where we can kind of filter some people to go check out the avenues that you might post those on?
Absolutely, our social media being the biggest one. But that being said, when I get something out, it's majority on all of our platforms. So all social media platforms. We have a MailChimp account, like our email marketing system. Obviously, our website. Really anywhere. And all of our accounts are interlinked with each other. So you can find us at JPT Tour Golf on any of our socials, and then from there you get our email list, our website. You get everything from there. So.
That's great, guys. And I'm looking through too. So like one of the things that sticks out on the pages is there's a prize purse for these tournaments, which is maybe something that's not all that common in junior golf. Is that something where you think it might kind of bring a bigger field, a better field, like better quality players will want to be able to attend, or it's a way to like kind of help them supplement some of the costs that they may have to kind of get to some of these events?
Yeah, absolutely right. And that's it has been done in Canada before by Golf Canada at their junior boys and junior girls championships for the last few years. So it's not completely new, but on a scale like this with 20 events having a $10,000 purse at each event, it's new. The grand idea behind it, yes, is to attract those top players, and again, like I said off the hop, to keep them in the country. Whereas instead of going down to the U.S. and playing an event with the AJGA or one of the big tournaments in the U.S., they can play in Canada, save some money, still have those same ranking points, same qualification opportunities, and maybe they can win a little bit of money and save some money for the parents on travel costs. So that's definitely a huge focus of it, and we're very hopeful that the top players will want to play just strictly because of that prize purse, but then also once they come to an event, they'll see how well run they are, how professional they feel, and want to come back because of that. And then the money is just a bonus.
Well, it's also getting them ready for the next level, right? Because I mean, even though it may not be the same amount that a bigger event would be, I mean, you're still playing for something, right? And you have the pressure, and every shot matters, and you could miss a putt and you could lose, I don't know, a few $100. So, I mean, I think it's good. I think it gets these younger kids kind of into the swing of playing professional golf, and whether they make it or not, at least they'll be more ready for it than they would have been before. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that 5-footer on 18 to win $1,000 all of a sudden becomes a little more pressure packed, right?
yeah, exactly.
$1,000 at 16 was like $1 million to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
no kidding, right? Like
Just
that's
got the whole world.
$1,000 at 25 is still like $1 million for me.
yeah. I'll take that. I'll take that
It's
at
coming from
any
an
age.
unemployed guy for 6 months.
Yeah, so pretty much any age of when I understood what the concept of money was until now, $1,000 is something that it'll make the hand shake a little bit over a 5-footer. You're right, Tyler. That's that'll definitely do it.
What kind of yardages are you guys looking at for these tournaments? Do you know yet? Or?
Yeah, so like our U19 is going to be somewhere between like 64 to 7,000 for the boys. The girls will kind of be in like the U19 girls, and then the U15 boys will be somewhere between like 58 to 62, kind of hovering around that 6,000 yard mark. And then our U15 girls will be basically 5,000 to about 5,500.
And then are you guys going to be like working with courses and like pin positions, or are you kind of just letting them all take the ropes and run away with it?
Yeah, so we'll definitely be picking the pins at every single event. We're working with Strakaline for that. That'll be announced shortly too. I don't know if I should have said that, but
It's on the
we're,
website. It's there already, so
Yeah,
it's out
beautiful.
there now.
So
Yeah.
we're partnered with Strakaline for that. So obviously they're a yardage book company, but they also have this great like back end system where we can do like pin positions where like before we even show up on site, I can have like the slope of the green, pick my pins, show up, go make sure those are good spots, and then we're set. So yeah, we'll be picking pins. There'll be pin sheets at every event. It'll that's part of the professional experience that we're going to make sure is definitely there.
It's a tour event.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard of them before. I'm
You
not
just need the
sure.
grandstands.
Yeah, their yardage books are great. Strakaline is awesome.
Yeah, I've heard of them before. I'm just kind of clicking through, going through their website. I'm not sure if they were used at some of the other events that maybe I've been at, but I've heard about them before, and I think it's really cool because you do get the books, like you get all the I don't know, it's kind of nice when you like show up. It's even nice when you show up to like a nice course and it's kind of built into it's in the card or whatever it is, right? It shows you like all the sloping and the green and whatnot. But if I can ask you one of you guys, so if I'm a player and I'm kind of showing up to an event, I'm driving up, parents are driving me up, we kind of drop off. Can you run us through what it might look like from, my warm up to my first shot on the first tee, or, kind of closing when I'm going to sign the scorecard? Can you kind of run us through like what a day might look like for a player?
Take it away, Shazi.
Okay. Yeah. So our big thing, especially when we're talking about infrastructure, is making that drive in especially feel really big. So like courses with like big driveways or holes that are kind of surrounding like your entrance, all of those are going to be like really decked out with stuff, kind of making it have that feel. So basically, right when you show up on site, you're hitting that like, oh, okay, this is something different than a usual junior tournament. And then yeah, on site you'll be showing up to register. Once you go through, we'll have people at registration to get you set up with some giveaways, whatever giveaway sponsors going that week. Blake will be doing a lot of social media activations. So you might get pulled aside from registration to do some sort of interview in the morning, like a pre-round interview. We'll have try to do some sort of like press conferences set up inside at the golf courses if possible, kind of give that media feel before the event for some of the players. And then once they go to the range, obviously the range balls will all be included. So we'll have them set up on the range. They'll go out there, get their warm up in, and then on the first tee, just like any other tournament, they'd be up there set up. We'll get them started, go through all the starting notes, get them going, tee them off in order of like as the last round, the leader will go off first, kind of get them off started with a nice loud announcing everybody's names. And then on course, it'll be having that every 4 holes have some live scoring. We'll have referees on site to help them out every time, and then going into scoring, going through the whole process of making sure that there's no scandals out on the golf course there with any junior golfers trying to pull some stuff, and then kind of get everybody off and do another interview potentially after the round for the guys that are playing well, and that's pretty much it.
So
anything to add to that, to social side?
Great.
Oh man, you covered all the social stuff, man.
That was great. That was a really good description, man.
Great
So
rundown.
I've been lucky enough to caddy a few times for some friends on like PGA Tour Canada or PGA Tour Americas now, and like I know that volunteers are like they're massive, they're huge to be able to run tournaments like this, and I'm kind of like going through the volunteer overview. If I can read off a few of the points in case anybody's interested in being a volunteer, you can go over to the website again. It's linked in the show notes below. We need tournament registration, live scoring, scoring central, spotters, standard bearer, scoring, starters. I guess starting. It says starting, so starters, pace of play, marshalling, hydration, which is huge in the middle of the summer. That's something that was like really underestimated, but when we were at TPC Osprey Valley, it was just like people were just rushing coolers with ice out to like every hole when it's 35 degrees in the middle of the summer. So volunteer lead, photography, and shuttling. So there's probably many more things that you guys will need help with. But if anybody's kind of in any of the areas that Tyler has mentioned, or if you're going through the schedule and you're in the area, sign up, be a volunteer. It's great. You'll get to see some really good juniors play too, which is awesome. But is there anything that you guys are like trying to focus on, looking in like the different areas where you're having tournaments to kind of like work with sponsors or anything, or in those specific areas that you're trying to like build up just if it's like in the Toronto area or wherever it may be, to kind of get more people out to the events to check them out?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
go ahead, little man.
Yeah, we're trying to work with as many tourism companies as possible around wherever we are. So if we're in Ottawa, Hamilton, anything around those, like any tourism company that could help us out. And then my job is to connect with local newspapers, to get the word out that we're coming to town, local media outlets, get the word out not only for players but also for volunteers, as you just mentioned. Just kind of create a buzz. Like what we noticed at events is that like people love to come out and watch. Like
Yeah.
as we talked about, like these are the top juniors. Like you're gonna see some of these players on PGA Tour, America's Corn Ferry Tour, PGA Tour in the future. Like people love to come out and watch, especially members of the course too. Like
Yeah.
connecting with the course, getting it out to the members. Like it's big to connect with as many local stakeholders as we can, right?
Yeah, you did a great job breaking that down, Blake. And I'll just add one thing to it. I always when we're talking about this with people, we use the PGA Tour Canada event up in Thunder Bay that the Stahl brothers used to be a part of, and that event has like such a big legacy every year. They broke records on attendance. They really established it in that community where people look forward to it. They supported it very well. We're basically trying to do that 20 times, where we can have an event in London every single year that the community knows is coming, that they show up and volunteer, they show up to watch, they enjoy having the event there, players like coming to it, and we're trying to do that 20 times a year, 25, 30 times a year, as the years go on. And if we can make that happen, then everybody wins at the end of the day.
Yeah, game on.
I know, Tyler, that you mentioned that this year it's kind of first come, first serve, but as the tour grows and I think you said you can take on 96 players per event.
Yep.
So as the tour gets into its second, third year, whatever it may be, what will some of the structures look like and some of the rankings, or like what will player requirements be like to kind of get into each event?
Yeah, that's something that we're definitely gonna have to figure out once we cross that bridge. Our early preliminary thoughts are the easy way, which is to take the junior golf scoreboard rankings, the world amateur golf rankings, the AJJ rankings, like coming up with a formula. Basically, if you're ahead of one player, that's why you get in.
Okay.
But eventually what we would like to have happen is, maybe year 2, we have full fields with a wait list. Then we can start implementing a Monday qualifier for the players where we keep one spot open in each of our divisions, and then the players can play on Monday, and then the winner gets into the actual tournament. That's what AJGA does. That's where we would like to get to. And then, maybe after that, once we have the demand for the events, doing a double wave, just like the, PGA Tour Americas does, where we have a morning wave and afternoon wave. We can fit 156 players in there, and then have the Monday qualifier on top of that to really, then at that point, you're literally a carbon copy of PGA Tour Americas, which
How
is
cool
kind
is
of
that?
what we want to get to.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
How cool would that be too? Like, I don't know, man. I'm looking at my bibs over on the wall. It's just like, it's just such a cool, like, there's such cool events. And like Bryce and I usually once a month we'll bring on like a player, a pro, and we'll talk about like Monday Qs always come up. And like, how cool would that be to be, 15, 16 years old and playing in Monday Qs, trying to like really get in and get that structure and get your kind of, your feet wet with that. And before we do let you guys go, I kind of wanted to ask, like, I mentioned that we have a pretty good connection with a couple, a lot of NCAA players, a couple coaches. Is there has there been any connection with like NCAA or like Canadian University, CIS, that have like reached out where they might want to like come and connect with some players or be able to get access or media or whatever it is that they can come check out the events to see some of the players featured?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be a big focus for us is to how do we get these players to that next level, whether it's the education component of, signing day, how does that work? How does it work when coaches want to come talk to you? Because, with NCAA, there's all those restrictions and how many, like what age you have to be for them to talk to you and all that stuff. So the education component is going to be very big for us. And we're still kind of working through the process of how to best do that. But as far as the coaches go, yeah, we've had a ton of like college and university coaches in Canada reach out already, which we kind of figured was going to happen. But what we didn't expect was all the U.S. coaches talking to us and saying, hey, we want to come up to these events. Like, when are the events going on? We want to come watch, because if we're going to have all the best players in the country playing, then it makes sense for them to spend one of their international visits on one of our events, right? Because right now it's just Canadian junior boys and junior girls that they come to. Now, maybe if they can't make it to that one, they can come to one of our events that'll still have those same players playing.
Well, depending on where some of the events are too, like you guys are stretching right across the country, right? So it all depends on where they're located. It might be a lot easier to make some of the events than some of the others, or depending on how the structure is, they might want to be able to come check out a couple of them. And I found that to be like pretty intriguing too, because, you know, kind of like when you were playing hockey and like people are coming out and like scouts are discussing things with you from like the OHL and talking to you and stuff like that. It's not something that there's that many avenues in golf, right? It's kind of, there's not that many tournaments. So having a structure like 20 tournaments where people can come out, see different players play, and it's like a showcase almost every week for them at some of the nicest courses in Canada is really cool. It's really cool for juniors to be able to have that option.
I just can't wait for my sponsors exemption to come through.
Yeah.
It's like in Benchwarmers when it's like the
he pulls out the green
12.
crayon.
Yeah.
I'm 12.
Yeah, we're gonna need a 2-for-1 sponsor exemption.
He'll drive me and be like, it's my dad.
Yeah. I'll shave the beard and we'll get in there and play a 2-man scramble against some of these kids and just get the pants beat off of us. But
that'd be a good idea. One of us go out there and just get dominated by these kids and just really show how good they are.
That's actually something we do. We're lucky enough sometimes to play the courses that we go to, and obviously we go out, we shoot, and then we always try to compare. Okay, in the junior, how would I stack up? I'm literally in last place right now.
And you're just like, okay, I'm down
Keep
here.
scrolling.
Yeah, we're just kind of going through. But that might even be, you know, depending on how the structure is. Like I was just kind of thinking about this as we were chatting here, and like I've been able to go out, walk around for 4 or 5 hours. I always caddy for a good friend of ours, Ziggy Nathru, when he comes up, and like we're just we're just walking around kind of having a conversation, and it might be like a really good opportunity for if any of the pros are available, like if the structure of your schedule is kind of in the area of where PGA Tour Americas might be. Like Scotty's great. Like I'm sure you guys know Scotty Pritchard really well. So like maybe there's something where you can get a couple players to come out and I don't know, play almost like what's the word I'm looking for on Wednesday, like a pro-am, right? Like that might be kind of cool. Something like that too. There's always so many ideas going through my head, but yeah.
Oh, the ideas are endless. And on that note, obviously we can't share too much on what we have planned, but definitely have plans in place for something like that through the partners we have to be announced.
I'm thinking like Claude Giroux's always out at the when they play Eagle Crest out there. Like he's always out playing in the Ottawa Open, and there's just like an unlimited amount of things that come to mind with it. And I'm sure, you know, Blake, your social media is really cool, man. So it's like I know there's a lot of things going on up top there too for you. But you guys said that you'll be at the Toronto show this year?
Yes, sir. Right
on. We'll come say hello, and if anybody wants to come learn more about if you're still with us and you want to come learn more about the tour, we'll definitely try to, if you are posting anything, share it to our, like, just bury a tag or something for me, and we'll share it around that time, because I think it's coming up in the next like 2 months, right? It's like at the end of January.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, first week of February, end of January.
Right after the Orlando show, I think, right? So
yeah,
we'll if anybody's interested, that's a great spot to go by, chat with one of the faces that you see here if you're watching us on YouTube by chance, or if you're interested. Again, the information's all in the show notes below. Go check them out, and bring if you got kids, bring them out and check out the tour, because I think this is something special, guys. Thanks for making the time to chat with us. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Thanks, guys.
I don't think we missed anything. I think we pretty much covered it all.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys did a great job.
Would love to have you guys back as the season gets going. If you
for sure.
As you kind of like roll out the schedule and things start to ramp up, maybe a month or so before your first event, would love to have you guys back and just have a quick chat, see how things are going, get some more interest there, because we got a pretty, like, in this area, from pretty much my house to Bryce's, 70% of our listeners or so are kind of in this area, so it's a good opportunity for anybody like in the GTA that's looking to play some junior golf to get involved. Guys, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Tell us where and when. We'll be back for sure.
He's out in my ball in the course where I tee up. I lose the ball and I re-up. I miss a fairway, I probably end up in the ocean or maybe the beach. And I'm on a par 5 and I'm finna go reach it. Second was blind, I ain't see it. Feel like it might be an albatross, worst case scenario.